Today we are going to be talking about linear equations, which is the equation for a straight line. It's obviously not exactly straight, but you get my point. An example of a linear equation would be y equals 2x plus 1, which here means that when x increases, y increases twice as much. So we have our 2x right here. And when x is 0, y is already 1, so we have our lovely 1 right here. If a line has a y-intercept of 9 and an x-intercept of 7, what is the equation of the line in both point, slope, and slope-intercept form? What we're going to do is we're going to start with a graph, and we're going to label our points 9, or should I say 0, 9, because that's the coordinate, and 7, 0. I'm going to draw a line through those points, make this point a little larger. And we want to find the rise over the run, because that is what slope is. And so we see our rise is negative 9, because to get from 9 to 0, we need to subtract 9. To get from 0 to 7, we want to add 7. So we know the first part of the equation of y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. We know that the slope is negative 9 over 7. And we put our x here, but we want to know what the b is, which is the y-intercept. And so we see here that our y-intercept is 9. So we're going to add 9, and this is our equation for slope-intercept form. So now we have to find the equation in point-slope form, and our point-slope form is y minus y1 equals the slope m times x minus x1. And so this will be pretty easy to do, since we see here that our y is 9, our slope is negative 9 over 7, and our x is 7. And that's our point-slope form. Thanks.
Hi, so here is problem number 2 for linear equations, and I will give you a second to read it. So one thing this problem tells us, that it says he set his cruise to a steady speed, which basically is inferring that it's a linear equation, because linear is a constant equation. Here I just drew out the problem so I could get my head around it. This is just like the path he took, and this is home to 2.5 hours and 3 hours, and here's what we know and how x and y correspond with them. And here I put all of our data into a box, and then I calculated the slope using this equation right here. So you just plug in the data, and I went through, and I got m is equal to 0.051. Here's the part where we have to choose between using point-slope form or slope-intercept form. Now, I personally think a slope-intercept form would be a lot easier to use here, because we already know what the intersection, what b is it's told in the question, because y-intercept is where the line goes through the y part of the line, and it's already said in the question, so we have it right here. So you could see, and so here is slope-intercept form all worked out, plus 0, just everything here, and we end up getting that the slope, that x is equal to 166.66 repeating. And I also did it in point-slope form just so you guys could see what it looked like this. And you just plug in any of the two coordinates you already know where x or one of the x's where the x and y's are. And so I went through and I got the exact same thing, which is x is equal to 166.6 repeating. So here we have the answer written out, which is in 2.5 hours, Lucas went 166.6 miles, which is repeating here. Here we have the equation for slope-intercept form, and we have the equation for point-slope form. And keep in mind that for these parts, you can use any coordinate you already know. I just used that one because it was the easiest. The end. Hope you enjoyed it. Yay, algebra.